Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Piazza. I'm your host on Dirt to Dollars. On this podcast, we're going to be going over the top latest trends in the industry. We're going to have sales guys from different supply houses on here talking about sales, marketing. We're going to talk about the industry in itself. We're going to talk about pools and pool supplies and everything under the sun. High quality, low cost, baby. Let's go. Congrats on your son, Kane. That's awesome. Kevin Tierney. Awesome for you to join us today, man. AKA Kev Turkey.
That's it.
Let's go, baby. I'm glad you were able to come in and meet us here at the showroom, the new showroom. Kev has a company called High Loco. They specialize in high quality, low cost, baby. Let's go. So today we're going to get into a little bit about your business, how you started, what makes you tick, man. You know, like that's what it comes down to in business is what makes you tick, what keeps you going. I'm sure it's the money side of things,
of course.
The freedom, right?
Yeah.
Having your own company is the American dream, but at the end of the day, it's about making people happy and making some money, right?
Right.
So, let's jump right into it. What made you start the decking and fencing company?
Well, I was actually doing elevators for probably about 10 years, and what I was looking to make some more money, obviously, like trying to get overtime and everything like that, but I started doing side jobs, just like little jobs, and then it grew and grew and grew up until like I did like a redeck one time, and I was like, wow, I just made more money on the weekend than I did all week. So I'm like, and then it happened again, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta, really start looking into maybe doing this full time, because then I could do 2 of those jobs in 1 week, and yeah, sure enough, and then eventually I just got so busy with doing side work for me, and then just I took a leap and then just went out on my own. I was doing elevators as a subcontractor as well. And then that company helped me start like my own LLC and get license and insurance and everything like that. And then, just a side hustle became a full-on hustle.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Like, I mean, we've been lifelong friends.
Right.
Your brother Jay was my friend growing up. Hunter works in the office at Pro Tree.
Yep.
So I've known you forever, and I remember when you were kind of jumping into it, doing the side work. You were like, "Yo, dude, like, let me pick your brain a little bit. Let me, you called me up, asked me a bunch of questions about business and." Long story short, I ended up basically, and I love helping out new entrepreneurs and talking about business, but it's really tough. You basically just got to jump into it and figure it out. Like I mean, unless you went to business school, I didn't go to business school. You just got to jump into it and basically, 2 feet in and just go for it. Right. So, you do great work. I've seen your work on Facebook. I've seen your work in person. We've subbed you a couple jobs here and there like that. And it really just standing name, I mean, congrats to all this success. You've been doing beautiful work and you put stuff on Facebook as well. So, what are some of the mistakes that you made when you first started? Because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, fails a little bit here and there, but, give us a couple mistakes that you've made.
I would say maybe like trying to do some things that were like over my head in the beginning, like before I understood like how to get permits and everything like that, like starting out, like trying to like kind of like overextending myself, especially when I was still working for a company, like trying to take on too big of jobs with that. And then also one thing that I think I did that other people don't do, like I kind of just like try to like outwork all my problems instead of having like such a good plan. I more so was just like, I want to work, like, and like I had no problem working and like having like a sense of urgency to get stuff done. And so maybe I could have planned a little bit better of for like budgeting and everything like that, and having more of like more goals written out, whereas I was just kind of just like going day by day, like with like aimlessly just trying to get the next job, next job,
Yeah.
next job, when maybe I should have had more of a plan. So that might have been a mistake that I made.
Yeah, yeah. Mistakes are tough, man. You're always gonna make a mistake, right? It's how you execute
Right.
that mistake. It's how you don't take it to heart, right? Like everybody in the industry, you're gonna make mistakes. As long as you follow up and you fix those mistakes, like, nobody's perfect, right?
Right.
You're gonna have a boo-boo on a job, and as long as you fix it and don't just completely walk away from
Yep.
it, and you treat the customer like, hey, I'm just brutally honest. I tell all my clients, like, hey, look, our guys made a little bit of a mistake. We'll definitely be back tomorrow to fix it.
Right.
And at the end of the day, they're happy the fact that you even told them, you didn't hide it from them. You said,
Yep.
hey, look, I've had guys hit houses with machinery before. It's like shit, like
Yeah.
it sucks. Don't get me wrong, but that's where you plan out, maybe a safety meeting or a training meeting and stuff like that. So, you know, um, honestly, like you've done great. Everybody makes mistakes. It's just
Right.
it's how you handle it. And like you were saying, like you wake up every single morning and you just do right and you just grind, grind,
Right.
grind, grind, grind. There's like, don't worry about the past, right?
Yeah.
A great mentor of mine always told me, like, worry about the next 24 hours. Do not worry about what's happening, after that 24 hours. Worry about 24 hours that you have. So yeah, I mean, that's, everybody makes mistakes and you just got to move on from them. So,
That's it.
yeah, that's it, baby. So, this podcast is basically it's for the construction industry, it's for the homeowners, and it's for the younger generation. So, the next question I have for you is basically, what advice would you have for the generation that's wanting to start their own business?
My advice would be get some not like go work for Jimmy for if you want to start a hardscape and go
Yeah.
work for Jimmy for a year and like really like
Yeah.
because that's like invaluable actually knowing knowing the trade. Like I do some decks or I do decks and then also bathrooms and kitchens and stuff like that. And me being working in elevators for 10 years, it helped a lot with just like mechanically inclined and knowing how to do a lot of stuff. But if I would have worked and probably made less money working with a kitchen guy and bath guy for 5 or 10 years, then I'd probably make like astronomically more money now because I would just be such an ace with kitchens and bathrooms
Mm-hmm.
where, it's been like a little bit of a learning curve for me, even though I have a lot of knowledge on it now, but it was definitely would have been nice to learn through more people and not just like go to school hard knocks through everything. So that would be my advice is to, get like a good like mentor and learn on their dime kind of
Yeah.
like get paid to learn.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to college. It's like you're getting paid to learn and then if you have that drive and discipline to start your own thing, then you can, take all that knowledge and apply it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was younger growing up, I worked for a buddy down the street doing hardscaping. You know the guy,
Yeah.
right? I worked for Rumford and Rumford
Yeah.
doing commercial construction and concrete work. I did demo down the city with a guy at nights.
Yeah. I was there for all of this.
You were there for that, working, starting work at 10 p.m. and then finishing at 5 a.m. and going right to my daily job at that point. My father, I mean, he used to make me do receptacles live. Like,
Right.
hey, don't touch the wrong wire because you're gonna get shocked,
Yeah.
right? It's like
Not gonna
I
be
got
that
shocked
bad.
3 times that day. I'm like, all right, now I'm not gonna touch that wire again. But basically, yeah, I mean, I like your advice because for the younger generation, you have to steal knowledge. You have to work with other people in order to gain how to do certain things, whether it's the wrong way or the right way. You obviously want to work with somebody who is doing things the right way, and that's
Right.
why, I mean, Christ, I worked with 2 masonry guys from Spain. I subbed for this guy. When I was slow, I subbed for this guy who had 2 masons that barely spoke a lick of English. They came right over from Spain and they basically told me, "Hey, mix this mud." "Oh, you're not mixing it the right way."
Right.
Like, "All right, well, how do I mix it? Show me." Right? forming concrete, wet laying bluestone. So, that was when I was 16, 17 years old. At the time I had my company, but I wasn't as busy. Right. So I was able to sub with different guys.
Right.
In the winter time, I worked with a 420 steam fitting company doing demo work and learning what different pipes and stuff like that. So, basically it does come down to just stealing knowledge and working with friends and people that like.
And keep your eyes open. Like when I would be on like a elevator job, I was looking at like, wow, look what these carpenters are doing. How are they doing it? Where maybe some of the other guys I was working with were like kind of just like trying to just get through the
Goofing
day.
off,
Like I was like had plans to like how am I gonna like soak in as much as possible to use it for my own gain. Like learn from everything everyone's doing,
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. I mean, like, going back 22 years now, we've known each other for a long time. When I started my company just recently on our last podcast, it's so hard to find employees nowadays.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like, how do you find employees? And, back in the day, I remember you used to help me in the summers.
Yeah.
You and all your friends used to help me looking for work. All of our friends, everybody we grew up with in the neighborhood was like, hey, I need an extra day of work here.
Right.
I'm like, I need you. So come on board.
Well, the way I find people is just by posting my jobs on Facebook that people know like what I'm about, what I'm doing. Then guys will reach out to me and say like, hey, if you like need an extra worker or whatever, then give me a call. Well, that's the guy that I want. I don't want to ask somebody to work for me. Like they're doing me a favor to come to work. I want someone that's like, hey, I want to work. Like I want to do something, It's like when you're like, you don't want to beg anyone to work for you. You got to find somebody who is a good fit to come and work for you. And it's like, obviously you're not always going to get like the top notch guy at first. You might have to train them but you need someone at all different levels to run a business.
Absolutely.
You need somebody that's like from the bottom to the top. And then eventually you get like the right guy, and it's like pay him good, and keep it moving.
Yeah. It's tough because like I must have did 30 interviews this winter already. And it's definitely tough. I've only found 2 people.
Right.
It's definitely tough. But back in the day, going back on our friends, like. You can train those kids. You know what I mean? Like you can train those people. And that's kind of more or less where I'm reverting back to now. Like my son's, 20 years old. So I like to hire the kids that he knows now that we can train, right? Not only train them, but develop them to go get their CDL or, give them incentives. And I mean, Christ, these kids are making more than we made, you know, at 20 years old than we made, at 16 years old.
Yeah, that's a hard thing ever since COVID happened. Like before COVID or like when we were growing up, it was like if one of your buddies are working, pay them $15 an hour cash. If they're really good, give them 20. If they're like sick, you can give them 25. Now it's like nobody really knows how much anybody should be making or like where's the top, where's the bottom. It's like people want to make $25 an hour that don't know how to do anything and then don't even want to work.
Yeah.
Or like they'll show up to work and then if they do anything, they think they're like deserve like extra credit.
Money,
it's like, no, it's like this is like why you're here.
That's also the problem with my son. He's great at what he does. I mean, he shows up every day. That's the biggest point. Like, I had a driver that damaged probably $3,000 or $4,000 worth of my truck this year. I mean, he's no longer with me now, but needless to say, I didn't let go of him because he was here every single day. He did put into work. The problem was he just couldn't figure out or get out of his own way or just wasn't careful with the truck. And at some point, you have to let those people go. And I tried to keep them on board. But it's a tough thing firing people, but also holding them accountable for certain things too when they want this much money. Hey, guys that come here are like, hey, I want 25 an hour, but you don't even have your license. It's like, what? Like,
and pick me up.
Yeah, pick me up on the way. Well, we're not picking anyone up, but you can get here somehow. But I know you and I both, and a lot of small businesses have family members working for them.
Right.
So give me a little rundown about how you like working with your family. And then I can share my experience as well.
Well, I love working with I'm not currently working with any of my family, but like when my brother did work with me, it was great because it was like, for one, he was just like a great guy to work with and like very like reliable and everything. But then also just like having someone that you could trust and like them like to the bone, that like a lot of people I don't trust to like talk to my customers. Like some guys would like that would have worked with me in the past would like, like talk too much, it's like trying to explain something where it's like that's like not really your place. But like my brother, when he worked with me, it was nice to communicate with the customer and everything like that, and just know that they have like your best interest at heart, you know.
Did you ever get in any arguing matches with them on site, close to fist fights probably?
Yeah.
Jay would probably whoop your ass.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I try to steer clear of that.
Good. Kev is probably the most aggressive one out of the bunch, I would like to say.
Peace through strength.
Kev was always whooping on people back in the day. Peace through strength. From on my side, it's great working with my family. My mom runs the office. My sister helps with the advertising. My brother is doing his own thing with my dad. But it was tough growing up. I mean, like growing up working with your family, it's like, hey, go do this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't have to listen to you, but at the end of the day, I'm paying you. Yes, you do have to listen to me. So it's tough. We butt heads in the office a lot with me and my mom. My sister, we butt heads a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're family. I apologize at the end of the day and say I'm sorry. And we're all here for one reason though, and that's to make money.
Yeah.
Like, put all friendship and family stuff aside. We got to make money here. So how do we do this?
Exactly.
We have to work together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing. So if everyone works together, everyone's happy, but sometimes there's no hard feelings, but
takes a village.
Yeah.
I still get some mail sent to my mom's house.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you working with family is probably one of the best things, rewarding, especially my son. I get to see him every day. Yeah. I'm sure that's how you felt about Jay. It's like, hey, look, nobody's going to care about my business like my family's going to care about my business. So that's why like small businesses are mostly family orientated.
Family first.
Yeah, family first. On that note, congrats on your son.
Yeah.
Kane, that's awesome. First kid.
Yep.
First and last, or are you planning on having a couple more?
We're plotting on another one soon.
There you go.
As soon as his mom lets me. Shout out to Jackie.
There you go. Shout out to Jackie. Some people always have some sort of criticism, right? I like to be criticized because I know how to fix that criticism. I know what mistakes I made to then correct. What advice would you have for me or the company outside looking in, right?
I don't know. It's a hard question.
It is kind of a tough question.
I don't know. I'd have to pass on that one.
Pass on that question.
Seems like you got it going on pretty good compared to a lot of other people.
Yeah, I mean, just grind. Just WTD, right? You text me that the other day, right?
Yeah, work till dark,
right? I mean,
just never let up. Don't get comfortable. That would be my like keep like your goal, like whether you want to like where you want to be in 45, like what do you got to do this year to get to where you want to be when you're 45? Like
correct.
Yeah, just that's like one of my slogans is just never let up.
Never let up.
Never let up for a second, or that's it.
I've always set goals for myself, and like whether it's not on paper or inside my head, I'm like, okay, I need to execute these 5 things this week. And that going back on like, hey, worry about the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
Who cares what happened in the past? It's done and over with. You're never going to be able to get that back. Who cares what's going to happen after that 24 hours moving forward, right? Worry about that 24 hours then and now. Execute within those 24 hours, right? And you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Don't harp on the past. Don't worry about money. If you literally, I stressed about money like 3-4 years ago, and I was just like stressing. I just want as much as I can, And I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm not even going to look at my bank account for the next 2 weeks. I don't care.
Right.
I have my mom help me out, look at those bank accounts to make sure everything's good.
Make sure we're still floating.
We're still floating, but like it stresses me out when I look at the bank account sometimes. And then sometimes I'm really, really happy. I'm excited. I'm like, this is great. We got a lot of money. We're doing great. And that's awesome. But don't worry about the money. Just worry about the work. The money will come eventually. The money will come eventually. So, you know,
that's a hard thing starting out. It's such a scramble, like trying to make any dollar you can. And then you get so caught up in working and trying to stay busy and then you end up finding out that you didn't even make any money because you weren't charging enough because you weren't planned out right. So, just focus on doing quality work and then focus on your numbers and everything will work itself out.
Yeah. I mean, business is crazy, man, especially when you have such a big operation. Again, going back I never went to business school, so nobody taught me how to do these things. I learned for myself.
Yeah.
And what I was doing in the past, like when I first started out, was like, all right, I have an idea on how much the material is. I already got the material quote, right? So I got the material quote. How much is the labor going to be? Well, for me, being out on site with one other guy, labor's cheap.
Right.
It's me. But when you start putting in, 3-4 guys on a job and you're running 7-8 crews every single day with just one company, not including the other companies.
Yeah.
That's a lot of math and figuring out what to do. Like, going into my next question is like, how do you see like pricing a job compared to like a larger fence company or deck company, or, just you being out there on site, you're able to be a little bit more price competitive at that point in time. So
yeah, I think that's where like the high quality, low cost thing is for me, is that I'm able to give really competitive quotes, and then I try to get competitive prices on all the materials past the savings on, and then I just bid all my jobs off of how many days I think it's going to take, and then you give yourself a little bit of a buffer and get it done. But on a bigger job, that's like a main thing, is that if you're like on a month-long job, you need to like know where you need to be at the end of week 1 and then the end of week 2 to be done at week 4. Because if not, if you're like at week 2 stage at week 3, then it's like you just did that whole entire job for no reason.
Yeah,
so
nobody likes losing money.
You better know where you're at every single, you need to be here day 1, day 2, day 3 to be able to run a profitable business. Otherwise, you could be doing it for fun.
Yeah, no, we don't want to work for fun. Right? Yeah, we want to work for money.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, off camera, I'd love to show you a little bit about what I spent all winter interviewing and SOPs, my CRMs. I've been trying my best to figure out things. Now with AI, it's crazy, and I'll show you this. I'll show you this off camera, but and I don't want to give out too much information, right?
Yeah,
but I'm working with a software company now that I plug and play my numbers, right? Whether it's from our spreadsheet, I plug and play these numbers to this AI estimating software, and it basically generates the quote for me.
Right.
From top to bottom, including demo, site prep, whatever we need to do for the deck, hardscape, pool, patio. It lists all the equipment, and then from there, it'll have the exclusions. And you can go in and edit that. But it saves me probably an hour or 2 of my time.
Gives you a baseline.
It gives me a baseline.
And be able to get the customer a number quickly, within 24 hours or whatever it is.
Going back on giving customers quotes, like they don't want to wait for their proposal. They probably had 3 or 4 other quotes. And maybe that other guy took 2 weeks to get back to them. They don't want to wait. They want to spend money. It's like going in and getting, buying food at Acme. Like it's like you want to go in, grab your stuff, and get the heck out.
Yeah.
So, for larger jobs that we're doing, they don't mind waiting a couple weeks. But when you go meet somebody, they're excited. You're talking to them. You're excited because you want to build their project. They don't want to wait and be like, call you up and be like, hey, where's my quote? Like all my quotes and all my sales guys, our sales team, which is like 4 or 5 people, right? The one mandatory thing that I've always said when I hired you is like, hey, your quotes have to be out within 24 hours to 48 hours. If it's a bigger job, I get it. You got to call your vendors and stuff like that. But, within a week's time, those quotes need to be out. I don't care if it's a $500,000 job. You better get it done. Like that's part of the base salary plus commission.
Yeah, it's not like set in stone that we can come back out and adjust stuff, but at least see if we're playing ball as soon as possible.
Yeah. I mean, and it also stems from, asking clients what their budget's going to be. I don't know if you do that with the fences and the decks.
Yeah, I love that. Like if somebody says they want a deck, and a lot of times I'll say, hey, can you send me a picture of it? Do you know how big it is? And then they send it to me. I'm like, yeah, it looks like it's going to be anywhere from 10 to 15,000. If they are like, whoa, what are you talking about? I'm like, all right, thank you. Now I don't have to drive to Kennett Square for fun, you know, because that's like what I'm trying not to do.
Yeah.
So we just get that knocked right out of it. You know, it's like if they're like, oh, I thought it was going to be $3,000. It's like that materials are more than that. You know, it's like you're just not realistic.
Yeah. Yeah. Or call up Jose in a pickup truck and he can do it for $3,000.
Yeah,
he might not have insurance either. And that's a really that's really why I wanted to also start this podcast, is to help. I hope a lot of my clients are watching this, because I want to help them figure out, like, school them on how these things are done. Like, some people see somebody on Facebook and hire them and then you get burnt. I had a client this year in Gladwin, very awesome people, very wealthy, and they got taken advantage of. Some guy came in from like Canada or something, built them this pool, and stole $80,000 of their money. And I had to finish it, which cost them probably double of what it really should have been. Yeah. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, that makes it harder for the legit guys.
It makes it harder for us.
A lot of times, like sometimes I don't take like full as much of a deposit as I should, because people don't feel comfortable with all the, you know, shenanigans that guys are playing. So, but that's what your reputation comes down to. Like, I've never once like scummed somebody over, and that's like how I roll, and everybody knows it. That's it.
I mean, it is tough asking for a client for 50% deposit. Typically what I do is, if it's a $250,000 to a $500,000 job, I set up a payment structure, and it's paid upon completion of those certain details or those certain aspects on the job. With a pool,
you have to. It's like you don't want to pay for their pool, you know, like they're paying for their pool.
You don't want to be negative.
Yeah, it's like it's not like you're getting a pool at your house. It's like it's their pool, you know, they have to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which makes sense. That's what I do. A lot of times I'll get like a small deposit, and then when I show up with the materials, I'll say like, give me half of it now. It's like you feel good about that? Like, everything's here and we're here.
Correct. Yeah.
You know,
and that's typically how we do it too. I mean, you know, we for the pool jobs are a lot bigger. We're coming in and building these pools and shooting gunite within 10 days of excavation. Yeah. So we need to have a larger deposit up front, because most of the pool equipment is delivered day one, and that's a very expensive equipment.
Yeah, and you have a lot of guys that are relying on being there to work.
Correct. It's all there basically day one, day two, day three, and they're happy as crap because they're seeing the process, and they're seeing the progress done within the first 10 days. That's what separates us apart from a lot of these other pool builders. And I looked at it, and this is probably a good pointer for you, is that I looked at it from the outside looking in. I'm like, how can I reverse this structure here? Okay, well, this pool company comes in and excavates, and then 10 days later they're gonna put in the rebar, right? And then 10 days later they're gonna do the plumbing, and like, this is a waste of time. I can build a pool much quicker than this. Right. And that's basically why I broke into the pools, and we're exclusively kind of handling everything in-house, which awesome. I'm sure you do as well. Like, as much as you can to do things in-house, that's basically what makes the customer feel, you know,
yeah, that's one thing I love about running my own business. Like, I like doing sales, and I like I'm setting up my own website. Like, I would never, if I was still doing elevators, like, I wouldn't be like, I would have nothing to do with teaching the website yourself, or like QuickBooks or I wouldn't even know what a CRM is, you know? So like, I like being, and then if there's a problem, I know it's my fault and I can fix it, you know? That's like a huge thing for me. And doing stuff like how I want to do it, and then if it's good or if it's bad, I know whose fault it was. You know,
it's tough to scale and grow a business. I mean, literally, it's taken me, you know, it took me about 15 years to really figure it out, find the key employees. I mean, a lot of my guys have been with me for over 16, 15 years, and I take care of them. I love them. They're my family. I love these guys. Like, I treat them well. I treat them with respect, and they're my friend. They're my best friends, right? Like, I see them every single day. They're family. They come to all the parties we have. They come to all the events we have, and they're great people. I take care of them, and that's what you should do as an employee or employer. So, you know, where I'm going at with that is like taking care of your people, but also scaling. They need to help you scale, right? So, outside looking in, like, how big do you see High Loco getting? Like, is it something that you're like, hey, maybe I'll just keep this short and sweet, and I make more money, so my overhead's not as much. Like, so
I
like,
would be happy with having like 2 quality crews that can do like a really good job and do it how I want to do it, but then also maybe be able to sub some jobs out.
yeah,
Like some jobs, like a deck right now with like a full roof overhang. It's just like kind of like I'm just gonna stay in my lane and stick with like
too
doing
much.
decks that are
Yeah,
like 30 grand or less,
yeah,
or like 40 grand or less. Where eventually, like if I had like the right subs and being able to move stuff around, like that's how I would see it growing more, is by just doing more sales
yeah.
and then keeping my crews going
Just
during the day.
keeping them busy during the day. Yeah, I I I applaud you for that, because some people don't really want to grow as much. And when I was young and hungry, I mean, I'm 38 now, right? And you're getting older too.
Yeah.
You're not much younger than me, but you know, I didn't mind taking on as much as I could handle, right? I wanted to
Mhm.
be the biggest in the area. Like,
Yeah.
looking back, it's like, hey, maybe I should have took it a little bit slower and organized a little bit more. And you're always gonna you always get to work and then figure it out after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No's
You
got
know,
time for that.
nobody's got time for that, right? So like that was kind of my motto. It's like, hey, I'll get to work and then I'll figure it out after. But when I figure it out, I'm not gonna do it half-ass. I'm gonna
Yeah.
figure it out the right way. I'm gonna make sure it's done the right way. And we stand behind our name, dude.
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna stay in business forever.
Yeah. So you could do anything, It's like I feel like I'm like that, you're like that. It's like no matter what it is, like I feel confident if I get backed in a corner, I can get out of it.
And you got me or
Yeah.
other people that
Like, no
in the
matter.
industry that
Sometimes when you don't know what you're doing, you do the best job because you overdo it.
Yeah.
Like that's like if you're gonna mess up the wrong, like in the right way,
Yeah, correct.
and like overbuild it,
Yeah.
if you don't know what you're doing exactly.
I love that. I love that
Yeah.
terminology, because you're right. I mean, hey, if you're unsure if there's a galvanized bracket that has to go on this
It's
joist,
like put on 2 of them.
put on another one, right? What is the inspector going to say? There's too much
it.
metal on this deck?
Yeah,
No, he's not.
exactly.
Carriage bolts, lag bolts, like,
Yeah,
you're supposed to space them every 16 or 18 inches apart, right? Yeah, throw an extra one in there.
Yeah.
What's going to hurt, right? So,
That's it.
I love it. I'm loving everything about your company. I mean, I'd love to start maybe pushing you some more fencing, because
Yeah.
we're getting really busy with fencing too. We don't really advertise a lot of fencing, but we do handle it around a lot of our pools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you actually got one of the pool jobs that we did
Yeah,
this
shout
year. It was
out to
great.
Jim. Did a pool and I fenced it in.
There you go, buddy. Yeah, and I hit you up and I'm like, hey, how did you get that job? And it wasn't like I referred you to the client,
Yeah.
but they've seen you on Facebook. They see you did great work. And listen, I
didn't underbid you that bad.
Yeah, that personally does not bother me as much, because I know that they were in good hands by hiring you.
Yeah.
Right. If it was somebody that, like, not that I would badmouth them, and I would just be like, hey, watch this guy, and just make sure he's doing it the right way. And I've known you forever, so I know you do good fencing, you do good decks and stuff like that. What do you think separates your company from some of the other deck builders and fence guys out there, fence companies out there?
I just try and stay like in my own lane, kind of like I don't like we do like really high quality work, but I don't like necessarily try and get into like too like fancy or crazy of like big scale jobs, like more not like cookie cutter. Like we'll do custom stuff, but we have like our own customers where I try and focus on decks that are like 5,000 to 30,000. Like that's like my niche, where like some people on the main line are doing $100,000 decks, or so we do like a quality deck and we just kind of screen our customers and make sure that we're a good fit to work with them,
Yeah.
And like we're good because I want to do the job right. So like you have to have the right customer that understands like what it takes to do it right. Like not everyone's your customer. So
yeah. Some people will comment on Facebook and I'll reply back like, hey, we'll interview you for the job, basically for the job. And like somebody's like, why are you going to interview them? I'm like, dude, you got to understand something. It's like we're going to be like a family for the next 3 weeks. We're going to be communicating left and right, no matter, like, throughout the duration of this job, especially if it's a month-long job.
Right.
We need to cater to them, and we need to make sure that we want to work with them as well. So when I go out to do an estimate, it's not only an estimate, it's an interview. I want to make sure that this person isn't going to be a pain in the ass.
Right.
They're not going to bitch about every little thing. Our guys clean up at the end of the day, but God forbid they leave a little bit of trash. I want to make sure they're not going to be that nitpicky kind of client that you have to hold their hand. It's like, hey, look, I'm in business to make money, and I'm in business to respect my clients, and I love all my clients. But it's more or less it slows down the job. The quality work lacks because they're out there nitpicking everything. It's just like, hey, I can't wait to get off at this point.
Yeah, so if like a customer's like over your shoulder, it's like, all right, well, we're going to
sucks. Just let us do our job. Like you obviously hired me because you saw my reputation and you saw us on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it may be. Like, trust our process.
Right.
Believe me, I'm not one of these guys that's gonna rob you and you're never gonna hear from again.
Yeah, so stop doing that to all those guys out there.
Yeah. It's like, you hired me for a reason. We're gonna give you the best product possible. And I'm not perfect. If something happens and you need me to come back, call me. Right. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Is call me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going out of business next week. Give me a call. Tell me what you don't like about this, and I'll come back and fix it. It's not a big deal.
And that's how you get a repeat customer too. If they do have a little issue, you go back and fix it. Guess who they're calling for the next job? The guy who's going to come back when they have a problem.
Correct. Yeah.
That's huge for me. Not that I like that. Like I hate callbacks. It's like you're always, every job you do, you're like, all right, I'm planning it on like this is it, never come back again. But obviously a nail pops or something like that. It's like, I don't mind that at all. It's like, go for a ride, like fix what needs to get fixed. Yeah. And then you have build a better bond with that customer. And then it might've been a month since you've been there. Now their aunt's coming over and they're going to say like, oh yeah, the guy was just here. Mm-hmm. There was like a nail that popped out. He came right back and fixed it. Like, that's like free advertising when stuff like that does happen.
Dude, that's the best form of advertising out there. I had a client we did a pool renovation for. It was a large pool renovation, over $120,000, I think, and it was 2023. We did a killer job. They loved it. I seen him at baseball in 2024, and he's like, "Hey, just so you know, I referred you to like two of my friends." And I'm like, I hear that all the time, and that's great. But they like literally called in that same week, and they passed me into their friends, and it's like, so one pool renovation turned into two brand new pool installs. And then from that client that we did the brand new install from, they referred us to another pool renovation install. So one client basically gave me referrals over $500,000. So like, I couldn't be more grateful for those clients. I also sent them gift cards. I'm like, take your wife out to dinner. He's like, I don't need the money. I'm like, no, take your wife out to dinner on me. I really appreciate you guys referring us. Like, that's a huge thing. Like, that's how we stay busy. Referrals. We don't act a ton. Right.
The best advertising you could do is just doing a good job. I mean, that's like, because it's like, think about it. You want to spend $1,000 on Google, $1,000 on Facebook. It's like, you could just, stay an extra hour and make sure the job's done right, do a good job, customers happy. That's like one of the, because referrals, like if somebody refers you, then you go to that estimate, it's like, it's on you if you can't bag that job.
Yeah. No, I pick up what you're putting down. Leading to my next question is basically what is the most common things you see from other fence and deck companies that people like do on the jobs, like mistakes they make that will separate you from getting hired from that client? Or, what do you see? Like, for me, it's like, I see people on Facebook sometimes advertising hardscaping, right? And they're still using crush and run stone. They're still using concrete sand underneath of these pavers. It's like, I want to reach out to them and be like, guys, industry standards have changed. Like, why are you still using this product? And that's what separates us from these other companies, right? Open grade base is what's going to separate us. So what do you think on the deck side and fence side that people cut corners on?
I would say that with the fence, like, one thing is like, some guys might like go up to a job in Garnet Valley with a neighborhood with all these big, huge rocks in it and not realize you like bid it all wrong. and then it takes you way longer. But then, yeah, with fences, obviously you're not setting the post, you're cutting the bottom of the post and barely putting it in, or not knowing where the property lines are, maybe, or not knowing if you need a permit or not, So that can be a huge problem, and that's like a really not great for your reputation if you get jammed up with a permit, So
permits, setbacks, stuff like that.
Yeah, how far to set it back, and then you imagine I've gone to a job that I had to fix that somebody put a fence in the neighbor's yard. It's like, can't do that.
No survey.
Or with fences, I never tie my fence into the neighbor's fence. Like, a lot of times customers are like, oh yeah, you could just tie it into their fence. Like, I like them. It's like, yeah, but then they might sell their house the next year and they don't want, and then they want a new fence. Now your fence is falling over. So never like connect your fence to someone else's fence.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, that's a good valid point. I mean, just buy one extra corner post, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, have your own unit, you know? So you don't want to, I see it all the time that people screw their fence to someone else's fence. It doesn't.
Yeah. I see a lot in the fence companies, like, not that it's much cheaper, but like, hey, if you're, with fencing, if you're like $500 cheaper, well, why, right? Like, maybe they're not putting in concrete in every single post.
Yeah.
Maybe they're only doing concrete in the gate post. Maybe they're not even doing concrete in the gate post. I've seen that a lot with black aluminum fencing for around pools. It's like, we go there to, or we go there to do a pool renovation. We need to get machinery in the backyard, and you just wiggle the post a little bit and pull it straight out. It's like, no wonder why your gate's set and it doesn't align right,
Right.
So
gates all the time. Yeah, people not like offsetting the concrete for the gate to not lean. And well, people building gates and not having any idea of which way to bracket it or anything like that. That's what like separates me, I think, is that I'm more of like a carpenter who builds fencing than like a mulcher that builds fencing. So I think that really helps with being able to like decorate the top of the post and cut everything to like the 16th of an inch and not the quarter of an inch or something like that. Or like I'm cutting it with like a skill saw, not a chainsaw.
It's crazy. I was on Facebook earlier this morning, and like down in Sea City, I belong to the Sea City page, and no joke, a deck straight up fell off the house.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
A deck straight fell off the house from the weight of the snow. It's like, God forbid the client rented out their house to a family that had a ton of people over, and there was 10 people on this deck, and little kids got hurt. Like, do not cut corners. Like, do not cut corners.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, attach the deck to the house the proper way, and permits are a pain in the ass. But I understand where the townships are coming from. Right?
Yeah.
They want to hold general contractors accountable for stupid things that they try and cut corners on.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that you don't cut corners on, especially with a deck, is making sure that it's lagged to the house the right way, and the Simpson ties and stuff like that, and hurricane clips and the joist hangers. Like, do it the right way, because it's only going to get you more work in the future. I was amazed when I saw that video, and I've seen it happen before. Villanova 2 years ago, we did a little over $100,000 deck, 2-story deck, and we start getting into it, and we're ripping out all the old posts, the supports, the 6x6 supports, and we come to find out that we couldn't find the footer. And
there was no footer.
There was no footer.
I just did one that the whole deck, sunk down. Like, the deck is
that amazes me. And the house is probably only 25 years old. So why? I mean, it's just amazing that, you're going below frost, and maybe it was on a stone foot or something like that. But, there was no concrete. There was no bottom galvanized plate to hold that post in place. So, maybe they went with the lowest bidder. I don't know. But,
right.
That's the whole thing that on this podcast we're trying to school and give our clients as much information as possible. And, it really goes a long way if you do things the right way. I'm all about doing things the right way and working till dark. We had Kevin Tierney on the podcast today. Lifelong childhood friend. Love him, love his family, his mother, everybody in his family. So, yeah, man, thank you for
thanks for having me, brother.
Thanks for coming, brother. Oh, we got you a little merch here. Wear it up. Put the hat on. Let's come to work and do some fencing.
Pro pool or no pool.
Thanks, everybody, for watching Dirt to Dollars podcast. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Let's rock, baby.